All right, I've seen the other two episodes of Loki. I'm not going to review them. I might do a full season review type deal. Maybe. I did do the first episode, but the overall problem with it is it's just bland and boring. But why is it bland and boring? Because there's nothing there. We now know, and it shouldn't have been any shock. So the director for Loki, Kate Herron, she tweeted out, "From the moment I joined Loki, it was very important to me and my goal to acknowledge Loki was bisexual. It is part of who he is and who I am too." And that's the main point. I must see myself. I got to tell you, I've never seen myself in movies and TV. It's just really the narcissism. But anyway, so that's the whole point. She says, "I know this is a small step, but I'm happy and heart is so full to say this is now canon in MCU Loki." So that's all that mattered. And I appreciate her honesty here, and quite a few of these people that are running the Marvel shows and stuff who have no knowledge openly admit they have no knowledge or even care for these stories or characters or any of that, which is not necessarily a requirement, but I would think if you're a professional, you would hunker down and study this so that you do know it. You can look in the past of great films and stuff in genre where people came to it, in the Star Wars films and in the Star Trek and stuff like that, and they knew nothing about it, but they studied up on it. They boned up on it. A good example in recent times was Matt Smith coming to Doctor Who. Unlike Tennant and Capaldi, he was not a big deal Doctor Who fan, but he studied up, and he came up with an idea for it, and he pulled it off. That's what a professional does. Another thing a professional does, when you're telling a story, you actually tell a story. You care about character development. You care about plot. You really have something going on. I didn't even realize there's only 6 episodes. They're 3 episodes in, and nothing has happened. I mean, there's stuff. The 3rd episode, they go to a planet, and it's on the verge of dying because the 2nd episode they reveal that the variant Loki is hiding in times where there's an apocalypse happening, and you would think an apocalypse would be more like this planet. The whole planet's going to be destroyed. But even like being at Pompeii when the volcano erupted. I guess it is an apocalypse for that city. But so, for whatever reason, because everything dies and is wiped out, so the timeline, if anything changed in the last few minutes there, it wouldn't matter. So the time variant people, the TVA, what have you, the time cops, don't notice it. So it's a good place for it to hide, and Loki figures that out. They give him something in that episode there, but the whole episode's main theme is that the other Loki is better than him. And oh my God, shockingly at the end, the other Loki is revealed to be a woman. So in that other timeline, Loki was born a girl. And that was the full message. So, recently they showed that about 100,060 viewers dropped off between 1 and 3. It's probably because that's what the stupid message was, even though you knew going in that was going to happen. And you didn't even need the behind the scenes photos of the actress, in the Loki suit and all that. You knew that was going to happen. And I didn't know. I thought maybe they would actually have the actual Loki turn into a woman, like in the comics and stuff like that. But no, it's this other Loki. And of course, episode 2 is all about she's better than you. I mean, they don't say it's she till at the end, but and then the other Loki is possessing other people and speaking with him and all that sort of stuff. But then in the end, she pulls the hood down and it's just like in Doctor Who, yeah. Interesting thing about Doctor Who, and people were saying that they're taking nods from Doctor Who, and the Timekeepers or the Time Lords and all that sort of stuff. Tim Hiddleston would make a fantastic Doctor. There's been some rumblings about him possibly being James Bond, but I think he'd be a much better Doctor Who. He even in some instances you could kind of tell he kind of looks like he could pass as a young William Hartnell. But Doctor Who's been destroyed, so. And another thing about Doctor Who is that the best thing about this Loki series is him. You've got this great talent, and you're wasting him. And the same was true in Doctor Who with Peter Capaldi. That Peter Capaldi had the skills and ability and the passion to be probably one of the best doctors of all time, and he's just wasted because they never had a story for him. There were some that came close, but then they would ruin it. Pretty much the same here, because he's just there to be told he's stupid and meaningless in comparison to his Mary Sue alternate, who is the much better Loki. Meanwhile, he's a villain. So this, if it's just going to be this character study of him, it's failing on that part. You get a few scenes where he gets weepy about watching his own death. And then, of course, his mother and all that, And then he gets humbled in the first episode. Some of that I wasn't bothered by, but it does do damage to the overall MCU storyline. The Tesseract, the Infinity Stones, they're just nothing. Now there's still the element, the big reveal, the Timekeepers, will just be the man behind the curtain as a fraud and all this sort of thing. And, that's pretty predictable, and probably reveal that there is no sacred timeline. They're actually, variants. The three of them will be the same person, but they're just different versions. Maybe they'll all be Loki's too. Some will think it's going to be Kang the Conqueror and his other versions, and then Mortis, because they're both the same. Ravana's in there, though she doesn't look like Ravana, but that's, Kang's wife. Or girlfriend, I forget which, but anyway, his true love. So yeah, which would be fine, but it's just like, good Lord, you're 3 episodes in and it's just so dull. And it's like what was her name? The woman that was running WandaVision, and she didn't really care about the character at all. It was all her own personal goals and whatnot. And then she's like, and then we throw in the blasty scenes. And that's what's happening here. So they have the planet being, destroyed and all that, and but it's just one dumb scene after another, and it was all for a brief conversation between the two Lokis, who insist on being called Sylvie, the other one. So, is that a sign that she's not really Loki, or she's Loki's daughter? I doubt it. Or Sylvie will be the name of someone that she genuinely cared about and failed, and blames the Timekeepers for it or what have you, because she wants to destroy the Timekeepers, But anyway, so the conversation is, she asks, "How about you? You're a prince. You must have been would-be princesses, or perhaps another prince." So he pauses and smiles and says, "A bit of both. I suspect the same of you." So there you go. That's the whole point of the whole series. So you can stop watching it now, because nothing else matters. I don't know if they're gonna have him kiss a guy before it's over, maybe, but that's the big goal, So yeah, that's all that mattered. So, and so what? Okay, whatever. He's a god. He can do whatever he wants. Which kind of distance itself from you. I see myself in him. Well, how can you? He's not even human. But you're not caring about the other story, not caring about plot and all that. All you cared about was your message, and it has to be about you. And there's way too much of that in all of this. And you wasted this talent on 6 episodes just for this, and you got 3 episodes of nothing. And now you only have 3 left. Maybe it'll pick it up, it'll be a surprise. But here we are, the 3rd D+ series of the MCU. And it looks like it's going to poop the bed like the other 2. I doubt that it's going to do it as bad as Falcon and Winter Soldier, which was really egregious, where you have your superhero being sympathetic for a mass murderer. Which is odd, because Loki's the villain. He's a villain. So maybe it won't be as bad as that one. But it doesn't look good. And of course, you see the reasons. And it always, when they make a big deal about this stuff, it's always to shield a lackluster story, plot, character, what have you. Always. And that's just the laziness of Hollywood these days. The work is in special effects, and costuming, and prop building, and in quite a few cases, acting. But the most important part of the story, they just sort of phone that in. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness, so many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.